Hey guys, I said I wouldn't be making another pregnancy update for 2 weeks unless something changed, and something did change this week. I thought I would just give you a little update of what's kind of happening and been going on, and let you know what is taking place. So this week I had another transvaginal ultrasound to measure cervical length, and it was also time for a growth scan. So both of those took place yesterday on Monday, is typically when I go in for all my scans. And I did lose a little more length of my cervix. I'm now at a 2 and I'm no longer dynamic, which means it does not lengthen at all. It is a 2 and it is funneling pretty greatly. And from what we could see on the scan, it appears that I might be starting to dilate. I didn't feel comfortable, and no one else was really pushing the topic of manually checking me, because there's really no point. If I'm dilated, I'm dilated. But you can kind of see on the ultrasound, there should be like a thin white line that is your cervix that shows that you're closed, and mine, there's a little bit of a gap between it. So if I am dilated, it's not by much, but we aren't pushing there's no need to know exact numbers. So due to that change, I did go ahead and get the steroid shots for his lungs, or the betamethasone shots. I received my first one yesterday at 1 o'clock, and then today, Tuesday, I went back after 1 o'clock. It was about 1:45. I went and got the second shot. My doctor was anticipating this, and so he had already written the script. So I just went into my OB's office and got to see just like the triage nurse and said, hey, things have changed. It's time to do it. So it was a pretty simple process. I'm glad that we were proactive and I didn't have to like wait to see him and go through all that fuss, because I absolutely hate waiting, especially since I already have so many appointments as it is. I try to streamline everything to make it all as quick as possible. So I got the betamethasone yesterday and I came home, we got lunch, and by the time I had finished lunch, I could kind of tell that the steroids were making me feel a little like anxious, like my heart was racing a little bit. And I kind of felt that way off and on all night. I didn't sleep the best. I still slept. I was probably up every hour and a half though, like just kind of like bing, I'm awake. Thankfully, I was able to like resituate or go use the restroom and, move my pillows around, and I was able to lay back down and fall back asleep. So far, those have I've been feeling there's still the heart racing today, and like anxiety, like I feel like I need to be doing something, but clearly now I can't. So how it's affecting our daily life now is I've really got to try even harder to stay off my feet. At the growth scan, little man is still measuring ahead. It's over, I think he's measuring over 2 weeks ahead now. He's in the 98th percentile now, so he's still continuing to either be on track or continuing to like grow rapidly as his curve has gone this whole pregnancy. He is now 3 pounds, 10 ounces. That's an estimate, but he looks really good. We watched him practice breathing, which is good. It was great for a 29 weeker. So we've done everything we can at this point. If I was to go into labor, we would try the magnesium sulfate drip. But besides that, there's nothing else medically we can do. I'm already on the McKenna shots, and I tried to space out all my shots just right, hopefully. Because, I had the 2 steroids, and then I have to get the McKenna, and they all go in your butt cheek. And they all are kind of painful and can leave lumps and just make your rear end a little tender. So hopefully by Thursday, the right butt cheek is feeling a little bit better for that shot. But medically, we've done everything we can. It's in God's hands now. We've prayed about it. I feel pretty at peace about it. I'm worrisome, I'm scared. I definitely don't want another premature baby. It's not fun. But at the same time, I've done everything I can. He's growing beautifully, and I know even if he did come at this point that he would do fairly well. The thing I think I've struggled with the most, and I usually don't talk about it to other people, and which is why I've kind of kept all of this updates. I usually try to keep them as positive as possible. I like to be a positive person. I like to always find the funny side and stuff. That's always been my go-to thing, is humor, and I'll just minimize the severity of something. But I think the hardest thing is I'm worried about the judgment of others. And I don't want my YouTube to be, me churching it up, but I also want to be real with y'all without having to feel like I have to defend or explain myself. I worry about the comments that we will receive from people of you've done this to yourself, is what I really worry about the most. Hold on, we've got someone crying. So I've got a guest appearance now. Daddy's not home, and I would really love to film this, so she's just going to join me for the rest of this. What I was saying is I'm fearful of others' opinions and comments. I definitely am not a person who likes to have attention on them. I don't like to be the center of attention. I don't want to ever be perceived as like my behavior is attention seeking or dramatic, or like I do things just to get a rise out of people. And I struggle with that a lot because my pregnancies are high risk, and we know that going into it, but they're so worth it. And so for us, pregnancies look a little bit different, and I worry people think we do it to be dramatic. Like, I would never want someone to think that I do this to get stuff out of people. Excuse me, those aren't for you. We manage very well on our own. We understand that this is a part of pregnancy for us, and so we plan ahead, and we do our best to accommodate my bed rest and all of the children we have. We have been extremely blessed this year. My husband now works from home and is home probably 85% of the time. So it's very easy for him to jump in and help whenever I need it. But I think that's maybe why I have shied away from being truly honest and raw with exactly how I've been feeling, because I don't want people to perceive me as being dramatic, or, I shouldn't have had all these children if it's just going to be, a high risk, drama stressed filled pregnancy, because it's really not. In the grand scheme of things, it's a few weeks of some high stress. It can be stressful, but since we've worked out the system, it's really not too bad. When the child is here, it's basically a race. Like, all the bed rest is like a blink of an eye in our memories. But I will say it is not easy. For anyone else who has looked up this video, having a high-risk pregnancy is not easy. It's very stressful. Our first high-risk pregnancy, we were a lot younger. We had zero experience on how to manage or get through it, and it was very, very rough. And, but it is doable, is the thing I always tell everyone. We have worked out a system. We know who's going to do what and what our routine is going to kind of look like. We now I'm going to have to use the wheelchair if I leave the house. And for me, that's super embarrassing. And one of my downsides is I can be very prideful. and it's a big knock on your pride, and I don't like the attention of the looks. So it is a couple hours later, my phone ended up dying, and this is my only way of recording and filming right now until we get the camera. But what I was saying earlier is the stress of the pregnancy and the stress of being high risk. If you have stumbled upon or looked up this video due to the tags, I just want you to know that the stress is worth it. Try to find the most logical and rational ways to minimize that stress. If it is getting lists done or figuring out meal plans, planning are always my advice. But this is so worth it in the end when you finally get that baby. This is now our 4th pregnancy where we have dealt with shortening cervix and bed rest. Our 2nd pregnancy is our preemie, and that was hospital bed rest. And so this is, it's not our first rodeo with this. It's been a few more hours since I've had the 2nd steroids or betamethasone shots for Huxley's lungs. I'm still feeling kind of anxious. It's not too terribly bad. I have zero desire for like sugary things, which is a good thing since this can raise your blood sugar. But I plan in the next few days to kind of maybe do some videos to show you like how I plan and how I work around managing a house with 5 children while being on bed rest. A lot of it will be my husband doing the heavy lifting, and I do a lot of just like supervising and watching children, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to. But that is the major update. I do go see my OB this week, and I don't anticipate anything coming from that appointment. Everything should be good as long as I don't go into active labor, and I adhere to the bed rest as best as possible. I'm hoping, and my fingers are crossed, to make it to 37 weeks so we can have our home birth baby. And there's no other issues with pregnancy. That would be awesome. But that's it for now. If anything else arises, I will definitely continue to update you guys. And if you like this video or like pregnancy or mommy updates, please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.